Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Friday afternoon / evening Zoom edition, and we've had a great week in crypto. Bitcoin broke through 60, was pushing 65K on a very eventful Wednesday morning here, at least in my part of the world. I think it was around 10:30 on Wednesday when Bitcoin shot up to 65 almost, and then dropped like a crater in a half an hour down to 59, and then worked its way back up to 61 or 62, and it's been mostly consolidating since then. So that's good stuff for me as a day trader and a short-term swing trader. I did really well that day because I like it when markets go like this. It's when it shoots up when I'm in a short or plunges when I'm in a long that can be difficult. So, but that day that was good stuff. So yeah, Bitcoin in the 60s, closed the month, closed yesterday in the 60s, and I think it's its highest close ever. I mean, obviously it's been higher than that on days it didn't close that high, but that was the highest close, the highest month close easily. We've also got Ethereum hanging around 3,500, so that's pretty exciting. Both are doing really well. Let's look at the charts. Okay, should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart. Okay, I will assume you are, unless
Yes, we
someone
are.
tells me
Yes.
elsewise. Oh, CPW is here. Hello, Craig.
Right.
All right, so yeah, I've altered my zones. I brought my bottom to between 48 and 51, and the top, I think between 63.5 and 64.5, give or take. No, 68.5. So we've pushed up against the 63.5 a couple times, but not been able to close there yet. Still hanging in the 62s. Wouldn't surprise me if we went kind of sideways, maybe bounce down here and bounce back up again, something like that in the near future. Still a lot of talk about ETFs, about all the money coming into those Bitcoin funds through more traditional institutions, and of course the Ethereum ETF is being considered for the spring. And the halving coming up, it's been pretty much the same news that people have been anticipating for the last, almost since the beginning of the year. So that information seems to be pushing the markets up. We do have more retail coming in, though people seem to disagree about how much that's really affecting things. But anyway, most of the news is good. So anyway, it's if you haven't been through a bull market before, it's pretty exciting. I think this is my second one, or third one, excuse me. And it's better than the bear market, even though I like to short stuff. So anyway, any questions? Let's look at Ethereum. Quick look. Yeah, I'm still have the same range I set before, down here in the 2000s on the bottom, and broke through 3,000 and holding it. We only had one negative close in the last week, and that wasn't even down that much. So 3,000 seems to be well established. Pushing towards 35, and to look for past retracements. You've seen it on, I think, my last two calls on Monday and Friday. I have to go to the week chart to find, the week long chart to find prior resistance. For Ethereum, it's around 4,500. So we still have a little ways to go before we hit all-time highs for Ethereum. But we have hit all-time highs on some coins. But we still have a lot that are still down between 50 and 80% from their prior all-time highs. So those are some of the ones I've been looking at for potential swing trades. Okay, any questions or comments about the markets overall before we look at Altcoin Alert? All right. So we will be using Altcoin Alert to look for day trades and short-term swing trades, maybe even some longer swings. I'm on the altcoin radar. I prefer that layout as opposed to the dashboard, which is usually what comes up when you first log on. But I want all the information, all the columns. I'm going to reload. And my first sort's the AA score. And I did get an alert through the Slack group on Loom, but the stats weren't very good, so I didn't really pay it much attention. I have traded XVS before when I used to trade on Binance, but haven't done that one in a while. Anchor is something I like, trade from time to time. That's pretty close to 80. 80 is what I'm looking for usually, or in the high 70s. And that means that, for example, Anchor Network here has a 79.3% chance, going up 3 to 5% in the next 48 to 72 hours. We are on a Friday afternoon, so weekend volumes can be sluggish. So this is a trade I would probably look at more on a Sunday night when things start to pick up, say in Asia and other parts of the world. But for now, I've got Loom up. I wanted to look at this one. It's up almost 10% today. It's an older project. This might be one of those that I just talked about that got beaten down. And yeah, there was one kind of crazy spike here in October of last year, but other than that, it's got a ways to go to get to its all-time highs, which are over 20 cents. Right now, we're around 11 cents. So there's plenty of room for this one to move as a spot or swing trade. I'll take a quick look at the 5-minute, see if we're in a dip sequence. We're not. We're trending up, and we're in the top of the range. I'm using the supply and demand visible range indicator from Lux Algo, which is a free indicator you can get on TradingView, and it helps me determine support and resistance for the time frame I'm looking. And I'm on the 5-minute chart at the moment, so this is not where I'd want to get in. If you want to get a better entry for this, you could do a price alert down here at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, right around 10.65 cents, or down here in the green zone, maybe in the middle of that, 10.5 cents. Either of those would be fine. I think reasonable. One nice thing about the weekends is sometimes you can get a good entry, when the coins dip due to lower volume. Add alert, right click, add alert, and call it what you want. I usually go with my information source, AA score purchase. And on notifications, I'm going to use notify on my app on my phone, pop up on my computer, and play a sound also on my computer, and choose the sound you like the most. So, but I prefer indicator alerts on the 15-minute chart. And so I'm gonna go over to the 15 on Loom, and you can get this on MEXC. I just opened a MEXC account, and I know the CryptNation guys don't like it, but I've been trading on foreign exchanges since I started for over 4 years. I would say if you're going to use a not well-known foreign exchange using a VPN, then probably don't put a lot of money in that exchange, because we all know what happened with FTX in 2022. It went under, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. So that can happen with an exchange that's not run well. But I digress. Let's look at the Loom setup. We're at the top of the zone, so not a good entry for a long. If you're a derivatives trader, trading on leverage, you could short this. This would be potentially one to do. I got stopped out of a short today and wasn't happy about it, so I'm kind of rethinking how many shorts I'm going to do in the future. I think the best setup for shorts is going to be for something that's more ranging as opposed to something that's going up parabolically. So keep that in mind. So I think the alerts that are working really well for me, and it's really no surprise, it's these dips on the RTI, the relative trend index, where it dips below the 20 and comes back up. That happened here and had a really nice run. Probably would have triggered right about here, and goes up to 6-7%. That's a great day trade. And it happened again here. Well, this was the big spike down that I was talking about on Wednesday morning, and made a really nice move, again 6-7% before a dip. So what you can do is set an alert on the RTI. This is the relative trend index. It's another free indicator you can get from TradingView right over here on indicators. And if you haven't seen my video about how to set, how I set up my TradingView charts, email me and I'll forward that to you. There's also a link to the overall approach that I use on my Zoom calls. I send that video link on Mondays usually, Sunday nights and Mondays. Okay, but back to the RTI alert, right click, add an alert. And for what I just described, the dip below 20 and retrace, that's crossing up on 20. Once per bar close, we'll leave it on until you turn it off. AA score. And the rest is the same. So that's one way to do it. If you want a better trend, instead of the 20, you can use the 50, which is this midline on the RTI. Or you could catch just the biggest spikes and that would be across above the 80. Or you can do all three. Or you can catch that 20 and just hold it for a while. Maybe set another alert for the 80 when it crosses it and keep an eye on it. This dipped below the 80. I probably would have gotten out here if I was watching it, say on a live trade. But then it breaks back up and makes another nice move. So if you want to trade both directions, longs and shorts, my favorite for that is entering a channel. It's 80 on the top, 20 on the bottom, once per bar close. And that'll trigger when something breaks above the 80 and comes back down, or something breaks below the 20 and comes back up. So longs and shorts. Any questions on Loom or any of these alerts or setups? Actually, one more thing on that. Crossing up. If you use the 50 or the 80, you want to incorporate a confirmation, another indicator to agree with you. And let's look at an example. This break above the 50 here. Get my vertical line. Why is that way up there? All right, there's that. And we have a break above the 50 here. So that's a trade I would have looked at. And then it's kind of obscuring. I'm going to look at the cumulative delta. Yeah, see, I've got candles trending up, green candles trending up here. So that's something that I look at for confirmation. So because when you are looking for something to break above the 50 or the 80, that's more of a trend trade, and we're looking for something else to confirm, as opposed to a dip and a retrace, which you're sort of going against the grain on that one. So I'm not really looking for, confluence as secondary in those trades. Okay, any questions on Loom and the RTI alerts before we look at something else? Okay, so that was an AA score. So let's reload, and another one I like is social activity. And I'm looking for fire and thumbs up. Social activity is what people are talking about online. Trading activity is how the coin's actually trading on exchanges. And when these match up, that's usually worth looking at. And I try to look at coins I know. And Ocean is one I've been trading this week. It's up 30% today. Unfortunately, I was in a short on that and got stopped out, so bummer. But some of these others I've traded before: FET, YGG, CELO, STMX. So well, let's look at Ocean. Once I see something up 30%, that's not something I'm usually gonna want to look at, because I think it's played out. But in this market, I could be wrong about that. See, quick look at the 5. Still at the top. Well, actually at the SMA line in the middle, starting to squeeze in. Could be a dip sequence in a little while. The 15-minute. Yeah, I got suckered in on this one this morning, and went against me on that short right here. So on this one, you probably want to just go long. You know, this dip below the 20 was really good. And we have a break above the 50 here. Also would have been good. And then a break above the 80, you know, about one candle later. So all those did really well. And here's what I'm talking about above a coin like this. You might want to take these that break below the 80 and then come back. You know, that happened right here. And that was a really good trade. It was a small dip and then kept going. So on something that's pumping really well, it's in, you know, double digits, this 80, break above the 80 might be the way to go on that. So, and that alert is crossing up on the 80 once per bar close, and then that'll stay on until you turn it off. The rest of the alert looks the same. And obviously a better one is to get in down here. Now, let's look at this as a swing trade as well. So I have a different layout for swing trades, and I made a slight adjustment to it. I added this Trendilo LSMA. I knew I'd forget what that stands for. Simple moving average. It's adjusted somehow, but it's less clutter like than Annie's ribbon, which I've been talking about, which kind of obliterates everything else. So this is a 30-minute chart on FET. Let's go to Ocean and look at this as a swing trade. There's a couple of ways you can go about this. And right now it's in the red zone on the 30-minute chart. But if we go to the week chart, you know, it's got a ways to go to get to its all-time high, you know, 162. It just broke $1, I think, today. So, you know, there's still room for this to move. There's a secondary resistance right here around $1.25. So what I've been doing on these, and I go to like a 30-minute or an hour chart. Probably go to the 30. And I've got the super trend here, which is another free indicator on that you can get on TradingView. Right click. I think I'm gonna go ahead and actually do this one. I'm just gonna do this one once though. And this is gonna be a short-term sentiment. This is probably on a long-term sentiment sort as well. And yeah, I'll go with handbells, my usual swing trade sound. So I'll click create. And right now it's in a buy, but it'll see how it's coming down. It'll come down, turn into a sell. And then if it's still got momentum after that, after a small retrace, or maybe even a large one, a buy will print, and then that's where I want to get in. So let's say that happens around here. You know, I have like 14% to the top of the, 14 to 16% to the top of the red zone. I'd probably go somewhere in the middle for my exit. I love 10 to 15% trades. I usually do them, at 5x or 10x leverage. But I've also been doing some more spot trading on MEXC and Coinbase as well. So if you have accounts on Coinbase, MEXC, and probably KuCoin, I don't know if you can pass KYC on KuCoin though without a digital ID. But anyway, you should be able to trade most of the coins that come up in the Altcoin Alert alerts. Okay, any questions on Ocean as a swing trade or even as a day trade on this other layout? Okay. All right, let's see what other sort we can do. With the, I haven't used this one in a while. This is intriguing. This is a 1 hour projected range. So this is practically scalping. And the ones I like are when there's a really small number potentially against me on a long. Like this gives me an upper range of 10% and a lower range of a small loss. So those odds are really good on Beam. What I don't like is something like this on VIDT where the lower and the upper are very similar. I don't think that's very useful. So Anchor, I kind of like this. The lower is small, less than 1%. And the upper is almost 6%. So that averages out to 2.5. I'm usually only looking for 1 to 2% on my day trades. And I use some software to trade those, to price in ladder buys and things like that. If you don't have software like that or don't know how to use it, then you kind of have to do that manually. But I did that for many years before doing what I do now. So if you're doing more spot trading and swing trading, you're going to do that kind of thing manually anyway. So it works out. But let's look at Anchor and use this 1 hour projected range. It's giving us a 2.5% option, but we want a good entry. So let's go to day trading layout on the 15-minute chart featuring the RTI. You guys should be familiar with this by now. So, okay, quick look at the 5. Yeah, I like this. See, up, down, up, down, up, down. This is the kind of thing you want to day trade. It's in both directions too. So on this one, I would go with my entering the channel, 80 on top, 20 on the bottom, once per bar close, you know the rest. If you're spot trading or you don't want to short anything, and that's reasonable, given this market, this dip down below the 20 did really well. By the time it came back up here, we got a 1.6% move. That's going to be in and out on my approach. Then it dips down below again. I don't know if this would have triggered a 20. Yeah, it may have triggered. So that probably triggers right about here. And you catch this move up again. So good stuff there. And if you're using the 50 for more of a trend-based option, this is a better example of what I was looking at earlier for confirmation. So that crosses here. And when you look down here at the cumulative delta, it's pumping. So really good confirmation there on a cross above the 50. So I like that either approach, crossing above the 20 or the 50 on Anchor looks good. So yeah, you could set up that alert crossing up on either the 50 or the 20 or both. Okay, any questions on Anchor? It's a day trade. All right, let's go to Altcoin Alert and do the long-term sentiment. And this is the sort I use to look for my swing trade, something I'm going to hold probably for a couple days, maybe even a couple weeks until I get what I want out of it. And I'm going to match up long-term sentiment, which is what people are talking about online on Twitter, or X, I guess I call it now. Match that up with the Elder Impulse Daily, which is a technical indicator. When I see bullish on both, that's something I want to check out. Coinos, I'm actually in a trade on this on MEXC, and I'm slightly in profit. Took it a couple days ago. Quant is a good one. I think this is on Coinbase as well. Let's look at that one. Okay, we will go to the swing. The swing trading layout. I'm on the 30-minute. Yeah, this looks pretty similar to Ocean. I don't think this has as much room. Actually, it has a lot of room. Yeah, back in 22 and 21, late 21, this thing went all the way up to over $400. So this has got room to move. The CryptNation guys love this project, especially Pizza Mind. So this one's intriguing as a swing trade, maybe even a longer one, something to hold for a couple months. It hasn't done a whole lot in this bull market. Did kind of a fake out here, and then it has been coming up. Let's look at the day chart. Yeah, you could get in this now and pick up 15% according to this. I mean, as recently as Christmas. Yeah, it looked like it was really going to take off then. And I remember I bought it around 100, 110, and it just went sideways, and I finally got out of it. So I got out of it probably a little too soon. But yeah, my approach on this would be the same we looked at before. Do an alert on the super trend. This one was long-term sentiment. And yeah, when that retrace happens, like it looks like it's going through one now, and then it curves back up with some momentum. Look at your LSMA or Annie's ribbon or an EMA or an SMA or something like that for confirmation, and you're good to go on a swing trade. I'd probably hold it. I'd look at the day chart or the week chart to determine, the resistance and where I would get out. So I get that question a lot. Where do I get out? And I like to use these longer time frames in this supply and demand visible range. Just look at resistance to figure that out. I haven't talked about Fibonacci retracements. We might bring that back for coins that are in price discovery. So maybe we'll save that for Monday or next Friday, because we do have a few in price discovery. I was looking at one today. Was it FTM? Yeah, I went to the week chart, and that's not a good. It was FAT. Yeah, FAT has shattered its prior all-time high, which was 121. It's all the way up to 175 now. So this is where it can be difficult to figure out where to get in and how long to hold. So, if you do want to take this one, it's in a sell now, so it's going to print a buy pretty soon, but you're still going to be in price discovery. So I haven't done Fibonacci retracements in a while. I'll have to do that over the weekend and update myself on that. Make a little note to myself. Fib retracements for price discovery. All right. Well, I've gone through 4 different sorts on Altcoin Alert, plus a bonus from this morning. Any questions or comments about anything we've gone over? Any coins you want to look at? Well, you guys are just chilling today. Not much to say. Well, maybe it's a mellow Friday. That's okay. I'll wrap it up here. If you are watching this on the recording, I'd rather see you live, but I do appreciate that. Please check out the comments, the pinned comment, and the opportunities in there as they help support the channel. Guys, have a good weekend. Hopefully we'll see you Monday. Bye.